Hey everybody, today I want to talk about this brand new reissue from the band Steely Dan. This is their debut album, Can't Buy a Thrill, and it happens to be one of my favorite albums from Steely Dan. I like basically all their albums, by the way, but I definitely like this debut a lot. And it has been reissued. It just came out, I think, like last week, and this has been remastered by Bernie Grundman, and he's remastering all of the Steely Dan albums for vinyl. And it's been a long time coming, really, because for the longest time you could only find the original Steely Dan albums that were either pressed in the 70s, or I believe some of them were repressed in the 80s as well. But having them get a fresh new remaster, it's been a long time coming. So I've been really excited to listen to this. And I picked this one up and I've been listening to it. And I gotta say, I'm really, really impressed with this. Now, this is just the standard issue issued by Geffen Records and Universal Music. There is a very, an audiophile version that's being released by, I believe, Analog Productions. And it's a double disc, but each disc is 45 RPM. And I believe that retails for somewhere like $150 to $200. Now, I love Steely Dan, but I'm not that much of an obsessive fan, like I am with the Beatles, obviously. So this will definitely do me for now. And what I've done is, I've listened to this, but I've also compared it with my original pressing. This is from 1972 on ABC Records, and in my opinion, this is the pressing to own of this album. It's on the ABC Records label. Got this kind of I don't know what you'd call that, the yellow, orange, purple, and blue label. But this is an original pressing of the album, and it sounds really good. Now, there's Bob the Cat just walked by. I don't know if you saw him or not, but he definitely did. And it wouldn't be one of my videos without Bob the Cat. So what I did was I wanted to compare these two, this reissue and this original pressing, because I've always loved the way the original pressing of this has sounded. It's always been one of my, it's such a warm sounding pressing, and just Steely Dan records, by the way, I just have to say this before anything else here. Steely Dan, they were one of those bands, and they continue to be, that they always cared so much about sound quality. You can't deny that. To the point where they would really see it through to the very, very end, even to the mastering stage of their records. So their stuff always has sounded really, really good. And especially these original pressings are really, really hard to beat, which is why I was so excited to listen to this new reissue. So what I did was I compared this reissue with this original pressing, and I gotta say that the results they surprised me, because I've always loved this original pressing. But now I really do think that this new reissue, this new remaster, it beats this original pressing, and I'll tell you why. There is just an overall clarity that seems to be missing from this original pressing. And it's one of those things that if this new reissue had never come along, I would be totally happy with this original pressing, and I wouldn't think there was anything wrong with it. But having something to compare it to, it's almost like a very, very thin layer has been removed from this original pressing, and it reveals just a little bit more high end and just a little bit more definition to the bass and the low end and the drums, and just an overall just really, really nice clarity. To the point where I'm hearing things on this new remaster that I didn't really hear before, especially in songs like Dirty Work. There's some organ parts that really kind of come out on this remaster that I didn't really notice before. And that's really exciting, especially for if you're someone like you, I'm sure, who, if you watch my channel, you're always looking for that amazing pressing that just lets you see through the music almost. And very rarely do I rave about, modern day pressings. But this is one that I'm going to rave about, because it really, really is a superb pressing. And I will say that what I've been reading about this is that it was sourced from a digital master. So Bernie Grundman, when he was remastering the Steely Dan albums, he remastered them from the original master tapes when they were available. I think the albums like Asia and Gaucho, they had to use like tape copies, but definitely for Can't Buy a Thrill, this album, they were able to use the actual stereo master tape, and that's what he was able to do the remaster from. And for the Analog Productions pressing of this, they went with a totally analog signal, so no digital files were involved, no digital source was involved at all in the chain. With this record, though, they did cut the record from Bernie Grundman's digital, high-res digital master. And, you know, there's a lot to be said about that. Obviously, if I could get the full analog pressing of the record, I'm sure it would sound better. But, like I said, if it was the Beatles, I would definitely be going for that. But it's Steely Dan, a band I really love a lot, but I'm not, like, fully obsessed with like the Beatles. So this right here is definitely good enough for me, and it sounds excellent. And like I said, the fact that, to my ears at least, it beats this original pressing on ABC Records kind of blew me away. So if you can find this in your record shop or order online or wherever, I highly recommend this. I think I paid about $30 for this one at my local record shop. And again, this is on, actually I'll show you what the record looks like. I might as well do that. It's on the Geffen Records record label from Universal Music. Just a simple black and gray label there. And there's side 2. And I guess this is like 180, I almost dropped the record by the way. I guess it's like 180 gram. It might be a little lighter than that, but I don't really care about that whole 180 gram thing. It doesn't matter to me. But this sounds really good, and highly recommend you picking it up. If you like Steely Dan, if you like this album, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you are just getting into Steely Dan, then this is really a great deal, because you're going to get a great sounding record for a reasonable price. I wanted to also mention another Steely Dan record that came out not too long ago, also mastered by Bernie Grundman, and this is Steely Dan Live, and it's called Northeast Corridor. Now, this is a double album, and it sounds amazing. This is an amazing sounding pressing, and I got this from Target, of all places, and they had it on sale. I think I got this for like $7 or something, which is kind of crazy. In my local record store, they had this for, I think it was like almost like $40. And I think most online stores, it's for around that price as well. So if you can find this in Target, it's probably on sale for you as well. And I highly recommend it. It's the first Steely Dan release without Walter Becker, who, of course, Walter Becker and Donald Fagen wrote all the songs for Steely Dan. So this is released after Walter Becker had passed away, which is quite sad. And they actually dedicate the album to him on the back here in memory of Walter Becker. But the band on here is great, and it just sounds really good. So this is an honorable mention for Steely Dan. If you don't have this, I highly recommend picking this up. It sounds amazing. Ravens, going crazy out there. It's raining out there, folks, so maybe, I don't know. I think what they're trying to tell you is, if you like Steely Dan, you should pick this up, and you should pick this up, because they're both available in your local record store right now, and they sound great, and they're modern pressings that sound great. That's what's amazing. So definitely check these two out if you like Steely Dan, and that's it for now. So I hope you're all doing well, and don't worry, more videos on the Beatles coming up. In fact, I have another Revolver Super Deluxe Edition box set video that I've been thinking about. I would like to make a video talking about what I think what they did really great on the new box set, and what I think they maybe could have done a little bit better. So stay tuned for that, and anyway, that's it for now. So bye for now.